too.
Hello there and welcome from me. This is our hour, yours and mine, an hour dedicated not only to our pleasure but to our kind of music, all of which comes from within the David Jacobs collection. 'Tis said of this island in which we live that we don't have a climate, we have weather. And even though it's a small island, the weather can be different region by region. Come to think of it, it can be different street by street. Not all that long ago, down the road in Oxford Street, it was raining on one side and sunny on the other. And if that's not a cue for a song, I'm in the wrong business.
Your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a pitter pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Just grab your coat and grab your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side, the sunny side.
Keely Smith with the Nelson Riddle Orchestra. As you might imagine, we have quite a library of reference books that we use to make sure that our facts are nearly always right. But some can be unreliable. Take this as an example. I read here that the song It All Depends on You was written by Buddy DeSilva, Lou Brown and Ray Henderson in 1926, and that it was interpolated by Al Jolson in the musical Big Boy in 1925. Which just goes to prove that you can't be sure of anything these days, and does it really matter? For it's a fine song, whichever year it was written.
I can be happy, I can be sad, I can be good or I can be bad. It all depends on you. I can be lonely, out in the crowd. I can be humble, I can be proud. It all depends on you. I can save money or spend it, go right on living, or end it. You're to blame, honey, for what I do. I know that I can be beggar, I can be king, I can be almost any old thing. It all depends on you. I can save money or spend it, go right on living, or end it. You're to blame, honey, for what I do. I know that I can be beggar, I can be king, I can be almost any old thing. It all depends on you. It all depends on you.
Gordon MacRae with Van Alexander's orchestra. Whilst Frank Lesser's musical Guys and Dolls wallowed wonderfully in its very special period downtown atmosphere and lingo, his follow-up hit, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, was a here-and-now musical, a brisk, bristling big business affair which drew its fun from the game of city office politics and how to play it. J. Pierpont Finch is an ambitious window cleaner who, equipped with a manual on how to succeed in business, sets out to make his way to the top of the corporate ladder. On the way up, he learns a great deal about the rights and wrongs of office management.
Gentlemen, a secretary is not a toy. No, my boy, not a toy to fondle and dandle and playfully handle in search of some puerile joy. No, a secretary is not, definitely not, a toy.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Bratt. We wouldn't have it any other way, Mr. Pratt. It's a company rule, Mr. Bratt.
A secretary is not a toy, no, my boy, not a toy. So do not go jumping for joy, boy. A secretary is not, a secretary is not, a secretary is not a toy.
A secretary is not to be used for play therapy.
Be good to the girl you employ, boy, remember no matter what neurotic trouble you got, a secretary is not a toy. She's a highly specialized key component of operational unity, a fine and sensitive mechanism to serve the office community. With a moderate hold, she supports.
And you'll find nothing like her at FAO Schwartz.
A secretary is not a pet, nor an erector set.
It happened to Johnny McCoy, boy, they fired him like a shot.
the day the fella forgot. A secretary is not a toy.
A secretary is not a toy. And when you put her to use, observe when you put her to use.
That you don't find the name Lionel on her caboose.
A secretary is not a thing wound by key, pulled by string. Her pad is to write in and not spend the night in. If that's what you plan to enjoy, no!
The secretary is not, is definitely not employed to do a good butt. Or you know what, before you jump for joy, remember this, my boy. A secretary is not a tinker toy.
So be warned. Members of the cast of a Broadway production of Frank Lesser's How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Let's stay in the world of truly successful musicals and listen to one of Cole Porter's fine overtures, as performed for the Reprise Musical Repertory Theatre that was conceived and produced by Frank Sinatra. The overture in question comes from Kiss Me Kate. Based on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew, Kiss Me Kate first saw the light of day on Broadway in the 1940s, and there have been successful revivals ever since, including one not all that long ago here in London. The overture was played by the Morris Stoloff Orchestra. This is where we play our regular weekly game of joining three records together with one common denominator. As you and I know, lyricist Alan J. Lerner's major works have been in collaboration with the composer Frederick Lowe, My Fair Lady, Paint Your Wagon, An American in Paris, and among others Brigadoon and Camelot. But tonight we'll celebrate the talent of Alan J. Lerner by playing three songs from three shows he wrote without Fritz Lowe. A year after the success of Brigadoon, Alan J. collaborated with Kurt Weill on the vaudeville-style Love Life. The provocatively unusual text carries a couple through a marriage that lasts from 1791 to 1948. The couple never grow a day older, but the marriage does. Withered and desiccated and finally destroyed by greed and crass materialism. Love Life is not only a study of marriage, it's a cavalcade of America from 1791 onwards, told through vaudeville acts, madrigal singers, crooners, magicians, and vocal quartets. On the record, Julie Andrews sings one of the songs.
There's a far land, I'm told, where I'll find a field of gold, but here I'll stay with you. And they say there's an isle deep with clover, where your heart wears a smile all day through. But I know well they're wrong, and I know where I belong, and here I'll stay with you. For that land is a sandy illusion. It's the theme of the dream gone astray, and the world others rule. I can find love in you, and so here I'll stay. If I've no will to go from home, or have no urge the seas to roam, or turn my back on a distant star, and never burn to wander far, it's not because of fear, it's because my goal is Yes, here
A seldom heard but quite delightful song, Julie Andrews and Here I'll Stay by Alan J. Lerner and Kurt Weill. After that moderately successful show, Alan then spent some time in Hollywood writing songs with Burton Lane for Royal Wedding. Among the numbers, Too Late Now, sung by Jane Powell, was nominated for an Academy Award. But perhaps the score from the film is best remembered for one of the longest ever titles. How Could You Believe Me When I Said I Loved You When You Know I've Been a Liar All My Life? Wonderfully well performed by Jane Powell, with, of course, the master of the dance, Fred Astaire.
How could you believe me when I said I love you when you know I've been a liar all my life?
You've had that reputation since you was a youth.
You must have been insane to think I'd tell you the truth.
How could I believe you when you said we'd marry?
Why, you know I'd rather hang than have a wife. I know I said I'd make you mine.
Now wouldn't you know that I would go for that old line?
How could you believe me when I said I love you when you know I've been a liar?
You sure have been a liar.
A double-crossing liar.
A double-crossing liar.
All my doggone cheating lies.
You said you would love me long.
So what?
And never would do me wrong.
Stop bending the suit.
Faithful you'd always be.
Me? Why, baby, you must be loony to trust a lower than low two-timer like me.
You said I'd have everything.
Get hard.
A beautiful diamond ring.
Ha, ha, ha.
A bungalow by the sea.
A bungalow yet? You're really naive to ever believe a full of baloney phony like me.
Well, I sure must have lost my head.
You ain't lost nothing you never had.
What about the time you went to Indiana?
I was lying, I was down in Alabama.
You said you had some business you had to complete.
What I was doing, I would be a cat to repeat.
What about the evenings you was with your mother?
I was romping with another honey lamb.
To think you swore our love was real.
Baby, leave us, not forget that I'm a heel.
How could I believe you when you said you loved me?
Why, you know I've been a liar.
A good-for-nothing liar.
All my good-for-nothing lies.
This is the last time I'll ever go to a party with you.
Will you put that in writing?
Oh, you're always making cracks.
Like what?
Well, you always humiliate me. Didn't your mother never teach you no manners?
I never had no mother. We was too poor.
Say, what's the matter with you lately? You used to tell me you loved me. You used to treat me like a high-class dame. Well, usen't you?
So are you.
Ah, there, so you admit it.
I ain't admitting nothing.
I'll give you one more chance. Do you love me or don't you?
No, I don't.
Quit stalling around. I want a direct answer.
You know you've been a liar.
I know I've been a liar.
A double-crossing liar.
A double-crossing liar.
Oh, you're good. Oh,
Jane Powell and Fred Astaire on the soundtrack of MGM's 1951 production of Royal Wedding. In that same year, Alan J. Lerner picked up an Oscar for his score and screenplay of An American in Paris. Alan was unquestionably one of the most eminent and literate personalities in the history of the Broadway musical. He played the piano as a child and studied at the Juilliard School of Music. He was partly educated at Bedale School here in England, and then went on to Harvard University, where he took a Bachelor of Science degree. At one time, he collaborated with Andre Previn for Coco in 1969, which had a very respectable run with 332 performances, mainly due to its star, Katharine Hepburn, and then with Leonard Bernstein for 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Sadly, his last musical, Dance a Little Closer, for which he collaborated with Charles Strauss, ran for just one performance, for it opened and closed on the same day. Sad way to end a brilliant career. Dance a Little Closer starred his eighth wife, the English actress Liz Robertson. From within the score, this charming song.
There's always one you can't forget. There's always one you can't forget. One who roams around your mind. One you cannot leave behind. Other smiles seem painted on. Other nights are here and gone. Other loves grow pale and dim in other arms. You think of him across a room, along the street. You always hope perhaps you'll meet. Why won't it die? You try and yet you can't forget. You can't forget. You can't forget.
Liz Robertson, and there's always one you can't forget. And I, for one, will never forget that I numbered Alan J. Lerner as one of my friends, for he and Liz often came to visit us and vice versa. And contrary to a report that I read in the newspaper the other day, Liz Robertson is still much in demand as one of our favourite singing actresses. Before he died in 1986, he was still working on various projects, including a musical treatment of a 30s musical comedy, My Man Godfrey, in collaboration with pianist-singer Gerard Kenny. We'll have another common denominator at much the same time next week. Don't forget that if you want any of the details of records played tonight or to hear the programme again during the coming week, all you have to do is to log on to www.bbc.co.uk/radio2 and follow the link to the David Jacobs collection, and I'll be there till next Sunday. Stanley Black, his piano and orchestra, and Cole Porter's Easy to Love. One of our favourite singers, the wondrous Broadway star Barbara Cook, is currently gracing the London stage, for she's appearing at the Gielgud Theatre for a magical 3 weeks, and all being well, I hope to be in the audience to spend what is always an enchanted evening in her company. Let's spend some time with her now, on the record.
My joy in loving you is past understanding. It makes me much too eager, much too demanding. I'm a very selfish lover with a jealous heart. If you're across the room, I'd be alone. I've got to feel your cheek against my own. We'll be close as pages in a book, my love and I. So close we can share a single look, share every sigh. So close that before I hear your laugh, my laugh breaks through. And when a tear starts to appear, my eyes grow misty too. Our dreams won't come tumbling to the ground. We'll hold them fast, darling, as the strongest book is bound. We're bound to last. Your life is my life, and while life beats away in my heart, we'll be close as pages in a book, never to
She really is totally magical. Barbara Cook, accompanied by the orchestra, arranged and conducted by her own personal musical director, Wally Harper. You may have read that there's going to be a biopic made of a Sunday night favourite, Bobby Darin, who became a pal of mine for a short while when he appeared from time to time on Juke Box Jury. The film is to be called Beyond the Sea, the title of one of Bobby's hit records, and apparently the American actor and director Kevin Spacey took Bob Hoskins out to dinner and said, "Do you know who Bobby Darin is?" Bob went to the loo and said to the man standing next to him, "Do you know who Bobby Darin is?" The man said he did, so Bob asked, "Can you see Kevin Spacey playing him?" The man replied, "Who's Kevin Spacey?" Bob then agreed to appear in the picture. This is the artist Kevin Spacey will become. Just who Bob Hoskins will become, I know not.
All by myself in the morning, all by myself in the night, I sit alone with a table and a chair, so unhappy there, playing solitaire. All by myself I get lonely, watching the clock on the shelf. I'd love to rest my weary head on somebody's shoulder. I hate to grow older all by myself, all by myself in the morning, all by myself in the night. I sit alone with a table and a chair, so unhappy there, playing solitaire, 'cause I'm all by myself and I get lonely, watching the clock on the shelf. I'd love to rest my weary head on somebody's shoulder. I hate to grow older all by myself, all by myself in the morning, all by myself in the night. I sit alone with a table and a chair, so unhappy there, playing solitaire, and I'm all by myself, so I get lonely, just watching the clock on the shelf. I'd love to rest my weary head on somebody's shoulder. I hate to grow older. All by myself.
I can't wait to see the film. One of Irving Berlin's most successful songs sung by Bobby Darin with the Billy May Orchestra. Verve Records have just released a new compilation of the songs made popular by Astrud Gilberto. The CD is called, quite simply, Astrud for Lovers, and not unnaturally, this is among its 12 tracks.
The shadow of your smile when you are gone will color all my dreams and light the dawn. Look into my eyes, my love, and see
Johnny Mandel and Paul Francis Webster wrote The Shadow of Your Smile. Astrid Gilberto sang it on one of the tracks of her new Verve CD called, quite simply, Astrid for Lovers. Ronnie Aldrich, his two pianos and the London Festival Orchestra, and Vincent Youmans' More Than You Know. There is within the score of the Yip Harburg Burton Lane musical, Finian's Rainbow, the song of a fickle fellow. And I suppose it's true to say that apart from his several major romances, Mr. Sinatra was quite a fickle fellow in the love department. Or perhaps I should substitute affair for love, for one wonders, with all those liaisons we read about, how often was love actually involved? Lust, more likely. The song suits the man to perfection.
Oh, my heart is beating wildly, and it's all because you're here. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near. Every femme that flutters by me is a flame that must be fanned. When I can't fondle the hand I'm fond of, I fondle the hand at hand. My heart's in a pickle, it's constantly fickle, and not too particle I feel. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near. What if they're tall or tender? What if they're small or slender? Long as they've got that gender, I surrender. Always I can't refuse them. Always my feet pursues them. Long as they've got a bosom, I woos 'em. As I'm more and more a mortal, I am more and more a case. When I'm not facing the face that I fancy the face I face. For Sharon I'm caring, but Susan I'm choosing. I'm faithful to whosin is here. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm
near. A truly honest, fickle man, Frank Sinatra, with another of the tracks from his Reprise Musical Repertory Theatre musical productions. Constant Love certainly featured in the life and songs of composer Irving Berlin. He had one of the longest and most successful marriages in show business, although at least two songs reflected the moments when all was perhaps not quite right with his relationship. One heard earlier, All by Myself, and the ever-popular What'll I Do, written in his grief at the loss of his first wife. Others perhaps were just musical ideas that came out of the moment, like this.
Maybe it's because I love you too much. Maybe that is why you love me so little. Maybe when I answered yes, maybe I became a bore. Maybe if I loved you less, maybe you would love me more. Maybe it's because I've kissed you too much. Maybe that is why my kiss means so little. Maybe with a love so great and a love so small, maybe I'll be left with no love at so small, maybe I'll be left with no love at all.
Peggy Lee with the orchestra conducted by Quincy Jones, and that Irving Berlin song given by Mr. Jones a Latin American styling. You may have noticed that at the moment there are several new young artists that are being featured more and more here on Radio 2, artists like Norah Jones, Katie Mellower, Jamie Cullum, and the young Canadian singer Michael Bublé.
I can only give you love that lasts forever, and the promise to be near each time you call, and the only heart I own for you and you alone. That's all. That's all. I can only give you country walks in springtime and a hand to hold when leaves begin to fall, and a love whose burning light will warm the winter night. That's all. That's all. There are those, I am sure, who have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and a lifetime can never destroy. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore for now and evermore. That's all. That's all. If you're wondering what I'm asking in return, dear, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore for now and evermore. That's all.
Much in the manner of Mel Torme, and a reminder of the late Alan Dell, arranged by Johnny Mandel. That's Michael Bublé, bringing this week's collection to a close. I'll be here at the same time next Sunday, so until then, or whenever, on behalf of my producer Roy Oakeshott, it's good night from me, David Jacobs.
'88 to '91 FM. This